let's take a look at a Google Ads dynamic keyword insertion setup that will drastically improve the performance of your campaigns in terms of user experience and quality score if it's done right and implemented correctly. Now, first of all, I'm in my Google Ads account, so I'm in, well, this is just kind of an example account, but either way, I'm in campaigns, and under campaigns, I'm under ads. I've actually selected a campaign and an ad group just to isolate one ad so we can just look at this one ad specifically, how we would set this up. But from here, I'm just going to click the edit tool. That's going to pop open where we can actually edit the ad itself. And if we scroll down, we see a couple different headlines here. Now we have two headlines that are pinned to the #1 position here, which means they're going to be this very first headline that people see basically every single time, right? Which makes sense because we want people to know that we're offering custom closets in Phoenix, Arizona. That being said, when somebody does a search, they might use a slightly different phraseology, right? They might say like custom Phoenix closets or something like that, you know? And if the keyword that they search for is identical to the first headline that they see in our ad, that's going to be an indicator to them that they're basically finding exactly what they're looking for, and then the click-through rate's going to be higher, which ultimately is a signal to Google that you're providing a good user experience, and so they want to favor your ads, put you up higher in the search results, get you better quality traffic for a lower cost, and ultimately everything improves. That's the whole idea behind doing this, right? But to actually implement it, we're going to use this code, which I will I'll leave a link to this code down in the description down below. But so you can see how this looks, I'm going to paste it right here first. So it's this little curly bracket followed by keyword. And then there's this colon, default space text, and then another curly bracket. And you can see it is, as we are selecting inside of this, it is giving us a breakdown of the potential different variations we can utilize. So we can use title case, sentence case, or lowercase, right? And when we look at these, all that's changing is the capitalization of the word keyword. So if we want it to be title case, we actually have to capitalize the K and the W. So keyword. That's kind of how I look at it, right? And essentially what that means is, actually, just to make this a little easier, I'm going to cut this keyword and replace it with this default text. The default text is what's going to show up when somebody does a search if the dynamic keyword that they use is not eligible to show up as a headline. Then it's just going to show this as the headline, right? And the reason that's important is sometimes people will type in a term into Google that is like 6 or 7 words long, but you only have 30 characters to use as a headline in Google Ads. So if somebody searches a really, really, really long keyword, it can't really be utilized as a headline. And so instead, it will just use what's right here. This is just like the placeholder, the default text that gets used in the event that somebody uses a term that can't be utilized as a dynamic keyword. So now we have the default text here. We have it in title case, which basically means when somebody does a search, so let's say somebody searches for custom Phoenix closets, like what we were searching for earlier. But normally people don't search it like this. They search it like this. All lowercase on Google. However, when it shows up in your ads, it's going to look better if it's all capitalized, just like I was writing it before. And so that's what this case sensitivity is going to do. Now you can have it just capitalize the first letter of the first word and then leave the rest of the text lowercase. But that would be sentence case. That's the second option right here. So we can see it's just the first letter and then everything else is lowercase. And then you can do all lowercase. Not really recommended. I just recommend doing title case. Go ahead and apply that. And so basically with this piece of code in here as the second headline, of course, I'm just leaving this as the first headline because I feel like this is a pretty solid headline. But for this one, we can leave this. We could put this up here. It does not really matter necessarily where we put this, right? Like we could insert this right here, do it right here just as well. It's not necessarily going to make that much of a difference, other than, you know, you're going to potentially be switching out one of these headlines with dynamic keywords. So that being said, this is pretty much set to go. We've got title case indication here. Of course, we can change things up a bit too. It looks like there's other things you can dynamically insert too. If you hover over this keyword, you can do like a countdown or location insertion. Location insertion can also be quite powerful along with keyword insertion, but just to note, you might see that if you highlight this, it's going to give you some options of other insertions you can utilize here. But assuming that this is how we want it, we really only need to put this in here one time, right? We can come back here, click Save Ad, and it wants to confirm that it's me. But assuming that we confirm it, it's going to save that ad, and then we're going to have this new ad with the ability to dynamically insert a keyword. And just to reiterate, part of what we're trying to do is when somebody searches for, like, you know, plumber near me, and your ad says, hey, we're a plumber in your area, whatever that area is, there's a good chance that they're going to, you know, click on that ad and move forward working with your company. So you're trying to make your ad as congruent as possible. And one of the cool ways you can do that nowadays using dynamic insertion is with keywords dynamically inserting into one of your headlines in here and showing up the exact same way as when somebody searched it, although you can change the capitalization of it just to make it look nice and kind of flow with the rest of the headlines on your ad. But that's basically it. If there's anything you did have questions about in terms of the dynamic keyword insertion setup or anything of that nature, don't hesitate to reach out. Just drop your questions in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to get back to them there.
Look, if you're the type of person that just doesn't even want to deal with Google Ads anymore, then you can always reach out to me. My company is Missoula SEO Geek. I'll leave a link to my website down below, but we do manage Google Ads for different companies in different industries, and you can come learn about what we do, what makes us unique. You can even read some of the testimonials from some businesses that we've taken from 0 to over $1 million in revenue, like this one here, and really just see that, you know, this is the type of thing that's going to explode your business growth. So feel free to reach out. You can always give us a call or contact us through our website, and look forward to working with you.